Welcome to the gameplay video for the Jill of all classes build for the Necromancer. This build uses the Slayer of Terramorphous class mod, which does make it a bit of an endgame build as you need to be able to kill Terramorphous in order to get that class mod. He's not an overly difficult invincible to beat. He was, obviously the first one that came with the game. The other ones were to add additional challenge beyond that. So out of the invincibles, he's probably one of the easier ones to defeat. If you can get this class mod, what it does is it'll blend all of the other builds I've suggested in the Ultimate Badass Guide together to make one really solid build. So as far as the Robo-Tier class mod is, Robo-Tier build is concerned, the class mod will give you points into Made of Sterner Stuff, which will increase Death Trap's damage resistance and make him be able to soak up more damage. Running with a Roid Shield, he'll still be able to deal massive damage as well. The downside is, in comparison to the Robo-Tier, is that when Death Trap dies, the cooldown reduction won't be as quick. So it's still relatively fast, but you'll have to wait a little bit longer before you can summon him again. As far as the Catalyst class, there's probably not too much that the Catalyst actually has to offer. Not unless you're using the community mod anyway. This is just because the status effect damage doesn't deal, it's not that effective late game because the health regeneration for the enemies it's pretty high. So the burn effects only negate that health regeneration. They don't do much as far as eating into the enemy's health. So the class mod does give you points into Evil Enchantress, which will increase the status effect damage after you get a kill, but it's really not worth worrying about that sort of things too much. As far as the Anarchist build is concerned, what this class mod does, which is unique, no other class mod does it, is it increases, it gives you points into Pre-Shrunk Cyberpunk, which increases your maximum Anarchy count to 600, whereas other builds will only be able to get 400 Anarchy. This one gets 600. So instead of getting a maximum of 700% damage on a direct hit, this one actually gets an additional 1050% gun damage on direct hits, which is, it's a pretty big boost, but the downside to that is the loss of accuracy also hits pretty hard, to the point that I actually gave up on using the Unkempt Herald on this build. It does still work, don't get me wrong, you can still use the Unkempt Herald, but I was finding it was taking quite a few shots to land those direct hits. So what I've done is I've swapped to the Fibber. Now with the Fibber, I wasn't very impressed with the Fibber's damage at 400 Anarchy, but at 600 Anarchy, it's actually really, really good. Which, I found surprising. Using Death Trap on this boss, you can spawn him in an area where he's safe. I have not done that, I don't think, but Uranus will try to target him through walls, which means that he will be distracted while you run in there to deal the damage. Do be careful running the North Fleet on this build because of the lack of accuracy. Some of those rockets have a tendency to shoot straight down. Right now it's not too bad of an issue because I'm aiming up at Uranus, which still feels silly to say the way it's been framed in this game. But even then, if you were just shooting at enemies at normal height, a lot of these shots would be going down towards your feet. But easy boss with this build. I'm just going to run out and get it done. I might die to his bots, I don't mind actually.
You're breaking the game, dude!
Now another thing the class mod gives you is bonus points into Fancy Mathematics. This means that your shields will want to recharge all of the time. They will constantly want to recharge. Tempted to pick that one up. Don't see plus the bandit damage too much. Could be fun for a manufacturer run. And the last skill the class mod gives points to is Interspersed Outburst, which is not a good skill. So I've actually have not put any points in to benefit from the class mod into that skill. And this is simply because the only time you'll get a chance to slag with that skill is when you do not shoot anything for a long period of time. But when you're in fights, you're constantly shooting because it's all about damage output. And if you're not shooting, you're not dealing damage. So it might be a good fight opener, but it's useless after that fight commences. The bonus damage is static, so putting extra points into that skill will not increase the bonus damage that you receive. Now, let's go to Scarab Research Center. We'll be able to melt things here as well. I'll use the fibber for a bit. And also show you the melee damage that Death Trap can do when he's got a Void Shield equipped. Now, the Macromancer still does not have a lot of hit points. So, with Fancy Mathematics and your shields constantly wanting to recharge, that does give you a little bit of a buffer to your hit points, but try not to overexpose yourself. So this is an area where we've got people absolutely everywhere. You can see with slag and like one shot, all my shields and all my health is gone. With Ricochet and with the Fibber, you can bounce bullets around the corner. You can see I'm getting kills that way. Where's Death Trap? Haven't spawned him yet. Spawn him in there. These guys are probably some of the tougher enemies in the game. See right now, I'm really exposed. I'm down. I was going to say I'm bound to go down. I absolutely did. Northfleet can be a good way to get yourself back up if you've got it. But I mean, if you can just try to avoid overexposing yourself to start with, you'll be fine. Ah, he's down the bottom. And he's not slagged. So it's slagging. There we go. I'll show you some numbers on this thing if we can.
By my command!
What he's doing right now is he's shocking some tentacles that are up through the ceiling where you fight Cassius? I can never remember his name. Cassius.
I am the greatest engineer alive!
I'd like to get close enough to show you some numbers that he's bloody throwing up. Go on, you go and melee him. Smashed. So if you're going to use the Fibber, you do want to look for the redundant prefix. This means that when bullets do ricochet, they still do 100% damage. If they weren't dealing 100% damage, this gun simply just would not be doing much at all. Shotguns on Death Trap will take him out pretty quickly, so he's probably not long for the sword right now.
What are you doing?
That's supposed to get you there. Spawned a bit late. Moments like this where I wish I really could Despawn him, he's got no hit points, he's not going to last long in the fight. All this time it's just adding weight to him until his next spawn. Of course, when you got a room full of enemies, it's pretty quick to just smack them. But you see right there, rocket went straight down on my feet. Knocked me out. For all the damage you deal, there's a good chance you will kill everything in the room. And if you kill everything in the room and knock yourself down, you're not going to get up. You're going to lose all 600 of your anarchy. Could run this with the bear shield as well if you want. I mean, I'd just be shooting around corners with it if I was. Death Trap's going to die soon anyway, so won't matter. Just got to make sure when people close in on you that you continuously seek that cover though. Fancy mathematics will keep it charged. Damage on that one. I think I like having Death Trap just melee him though. What's that one? That one. That's the wrong one. What was it? Nope. Couldn't see for Death Trap's arm. Cassius, let's go kill him. Worth checking. Ooh. Yep, I'll drop something for that. Not worried about that other stuff. Well, we don't have Death Trap. Let's try using the Hail.
You son of a nice one! No! I mean, yes!
Exterminate!
Charging fast. Come on, Death Trap, take a hit. There we go. I want to put Death Trap between me and him, and that'll make and change targets. Now that's the damage we're talking about. Ah, he missed it. I'm not convinced that even with the base shield I would deal more damage than he did with that melee attack.
You're breaking the game, dude!
Anyway, that's some gameplay of the Jill of all classes using the Slayer of Terramorphous. As I say, it combines all the other builds together to make this one really fun to play build.
Don't worry, baby.
Does require a bit of equipment. Probably is a bit of an end game build, but give it a go. Lots of fun.